And how long have you been in Korea?
On and off now, about 10 years, roughly.
Do you have like any dating experience like so far?
Oh, yeah. Depends how deep you want to go in this topic. But yeah, I got some experience.
So how has the dating experience been so far?
Overall, for the kind of person I am and, being such a lover of Korea, I've had mostly a positive experience, but there's been a lot of growing pains along the way.
What is dating like for you as a black man in Korea?
I would say in the past, it was a lot more difficult, but nowadays, with hip hop being like more popular and just kind of Korea getting a lot more exposure, I think black guys have kind of been a bit on the come up. If you're a foreigner, I always say your chances are just kind of 50-50 no matter what. You can have a positive experience dating even as a black man.
It's interesting that he made the comment about because hip hop has become more popular in Korea, the women are viewing black men as a caricature, as a cartoon character, as a stereotype, because most of that hip hop, rap music videos make black men look like a stereotype. So in essence, it's going to turn into some fetish.
Do you think black men have been fetishized in Korea?
There's definitely some of that, but as a foreigner, you kind of stand out here, so everyone's going to kind of have some idea about you or a stereotype or fantasy, if you will, but I think that just comes with the nature of being different.
You see, this is the thing. It's not just you being a guy, a man. No, you are a black guy and you have certain stereotypes attached to you, especially because of media, rap music, and all that kind of stuff.
What would you say are the stereotypes Koreans have of black men in the dating scene out here?
Well, we all know the classic one. By classic, you guys know what I'm talking about. Other than that, I think they do tend to expect black guys to be a lot more in shape, maybe a lot more fit, or usually they're doing something cool, either with music or dancing. You get a lot of that. I would say overall, they are just trying to get to know you as a person.
Do you think where you're from, the country you're from, plays a major role like in the dating scene out here?
I think so, because, or at least in the past, because Americans have always been kind of favored in Korea due to just kind of the relationship and the history. There was a time, I feel like, a lot of people from other countries, maybe some African countries or black people from some other alternative country, I feel like there was a time they were not seen as favorable, mostly due to like English and things, because of just how comfortable Koreans get with English nowadays. But I would say overall, with everything becoming more worldly, I think it's good for you across the board, as long as you're presentable and, come off cool,
Can you share like a memorable or challenging experience you've had as a black man dating out here in Korea?
The language barrier can be a big one if you're not a Korean speaker, which in the beginning, I was learning. Next, you kind of have to deal with just some minor cultural nuances, between little things like, for example, holding the door open is kind of seen as a big deal back in the States, and that's cool here too, but just little things like that in a Korean way, you don't think about, like getting utensils and making sure you're giving it to the girl first. Don't let the girl sit, on a normal chair. Make sure she gets the comfortable couch. Like these kind of little things, like you kind of just learn as you go, but some Korean girls think you're really rude if they're not, familiar with foreigners when you do this kind of stuff. So they're like, oh my God, he has like no manners, but you're new.
Where are you from?
I'm Nigerian.
Yeah. And how long have you been in Korea?
I've been in Korea for about 10 years now.
Have you had any dating experience out here?
Yeah, I've been out on the streets. I've never really been on dates with Koreans, because I've been dating foreigners in Korea. Okay. So and I just started dating a Korean girl that she is really beautiful. So
you just made mention that you really haven't dated Koreans as much. Yeah. Why is that?
Nationality wasn't the case for me. If she's fine, if she matches the things that I want in a woman, that I just go for it.
And you just made mention earlier on as well that you are currently seeing a Korean.
Yeah.
What's it like dating a Korean woman?
Well, it's like the cultural difference is huge, because the way I see things is different from the way she sees things. And the way I would react to some things is quite different from the way she would react. Because in my country, there are a lot of things that we don't do because of the culture thing and the way people would see. But coming over to Korea, it's more like a norm. So I think there was a big difference in the way she saw things.
Culture is always going to be a big issue because that's the way you live your life. That's the way you view the world. You know, especially when you're doing interracial dating, you have to factor in the background of the person you're dating, and is there going to be a mutual tolerance? Because there's going to be certain things that other people do that it's just going to rub you the wrong way. It's going to give you the ick, and vice versa. Another thing that he said, he's dated mostly foreigners in Korea, and he's been there for 10 years. To me, that indicates that these Korean women, for the most part, probably don't want to date him.
What are some misconceptions Korean women have of you?
They have this feeling that you have a huge weapon of mass destruction. So, but I get it, you know, because like from movies, from the social media, like it influences the way they reason. So that's I don't see anything better.
Do you
Really, it's from them watching corn, actually. From watching a lot of corn videos. They're not showing BBC in mainstream movies and mainstream TV, or even in music videos. It's corn.
think the country you're from plays an important role in the dating scene out here in Korea?
The thing Nigerian guys have used women's eyes to see in this country. I've usually talked to a girl and we were having a good conversation, like it was chill. And then and she asked, "Oh, where are you from?" And I told her I was Nigerian, and in 2 seconds she was out. Like literally, like she just walked out. I'm not saying this for the camera, bro. Like for real, like this is what I get. Like not all the time, but like I've been in a situation where like she just walked out. People like
us Nigerians, we do have a bad rap, and it's not just in Korea. Loads of places around the world. It's all propaganda, in my opinion. Men are men, regardless of nationality. Men are good and men are bad.
actually think Nigerians are this playboys. So like that's the first impression we get. There's some good Nigerian guys out there.
Where you from?
I'm from New York, Long Island to be specific. Yeah.
And how long have you been in Korea?
1 year, 4 months.
Have you been out on dates out here?
Yeah. Been out on a few. Yeah.
And how was your experience so far?
It's interesting. I have to remind myself that I'm in a different place, and like culture's a little bit different, and it's not just like dating like Korean, like it's also foreigners from other places too. So things move a little bit different out here than it does at home, and I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's been great. It's just been an adjustment, you know.
You made mention.
To be honest with you, I don't really understand why, as a black man, you would go and emigrate to an East Asian country. I just don't understand, unless you've got some really awesome job career opportunity out there. I don't really understand why you would go there. In East Asian countries, they pedestalize whiteness more in those countries. So it's just like you being the polar opposite of that and being a man. Why would you go there? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think there is a lot of black guys who have a strong fetish for Asian women.
Earlier on that like things are a little bit different out here compared to like back home. How so? Can you elaborate like a little bit more on that?
I would say speed. Things move a bit fast out here. The time that you spend with somebody to kind of feel them out is kind of multiplied like 10 times faster. Like it's like 3 dates, and then it's like, all right, we dating, or is this serious? Like we getting married? Nah, I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, at home it's a little bit more of like a courting phase and a little bit more like just dating, just going out and things like that. But it seems like there's like a number on it out here.
Do you think, like the country you're from plays a major role in the dating scene out here?
A little bit. Where I'm from New York, like I get this like, ooh, like, oh God, New York. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, what's wrong with New York? And then some people are like hyped by it too. They're like, oh, New York. So then you got like the people that want to move back to New York with you, like, oh, when you going back? And then like, oh, I always wanted to live there and stuff. And it's just like, all right, but we're here right now, so probably does for sure.
And you think like there's a fetishization of black men out here in Korea?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for my first whole year out here, I had locks, and so I had long hair, I had dreadlocks, and I felt like it was definitely a thing for some women that they were just into that. So I was in the spot like, yo, if I cut my hair, am I gonna get the same attention? But it's like I didn't really care about that anymore. But yeah, definitely like a fetish sort of thing, you know. But it's like you just deal with it.
The thing about that fetish element is that it's not a genuine connection. See, this is what a lot of black guys fail to realize, or they don't care because they just want to get some cheap thrills, right? When these women fetishize you as a black man, they don't see you as a guy. They don't see you as a man. They see you as like a toy. Yeah. and there's nothing special about your interaction with them. There's nothing special in it. So like, just bear that in mind.
Cultural differences impact your dating experience out here in Korea.
I was dating a girl. Well, I wouldn't even say dating. We went out twice, and then one day she just popped up in my apartment. Like, she sent me a picture from inside my apartment when I'm at work, and I was like, oh, what? Like, I was like, how you even get my door code? Like, I was stupid though, because I made my door code my birthday. I changed it since then, but she found my birthday somehow on my Instagram, and that was scary. So I was like, maybe I need to fall back a little bit from being too much on a dating scene. That was definitely a weird experience.
Have you noticed any stereotypes or misconceptions about black men in the dating scene in Korea?
I get a lot like, are you gangster? There's some inappropriate ones that I probably, I don't want to mention on camera. You can use your imagination.
Imagine that they're just like, are you a gangster? And have you got a BBC? Being fetishized is not a positive thing. It's not positive at all.
Like I said, like I had locks before, so I would get like, oh, you look cool. Like, oh, you probably have a lot of girlfriends. And then you get the ones like, oh, are you military? And I'm like, nah, well, what's military? It's like, oh yeah, black military guys. Like, oh, they're bad. And I'm like, what? Like, what they do to you? There's a lot.
Where are you from?
I'm Nigerian.
So how long have you been in Korea?
I've been in Korea for about 2 years.
Have you gone on dates out here?
Oh yes, I have. My last relationship like ended about 4 or 5 months ago. So yeah, I've been like quite on a couple of dates.
How has the dating experience like been so far, like in general?
I would say it's mostly positive. If you speak the language, it's definitely like a plus, because for like most of the Korean ladies, especially like the ones that are like not that confident like speaking English, you know, when you throw Korean to them, no matter how bad it is, they just, you know, get like very comfortable with you, like right on the spot.
I think if you can't speak the native language, that's going to be make or break, really. Because if you are going there, you don't know any language, and this is any country you go to, yeah, that is not English speaking first. In terms of dating, bruv, it's always going to be hard because you've kind of lost an element of you having game now. Because think about it, it's all about communication. If you cannot effectively communicate with the women you're talking to, how are you really gonna do this? Like, you know, be charming, charismatic, witty. How are you gonna really make the jokes that you want to make? Like, how are you gonna do this? You're doing Google Translate to try and tell jokes. I mean, that's whack. The only kind of women you're really gonna attract are the women who are chasing after foreign guys, and those ones tend to be, you know, not the best quality in my opinion. But anyway.
Then like when you just happen to speak English with zero Korean, then it might probably like be a little bit of a problem, because like you guys wouldn't be able to like communicate effectively, and you know, they might also be a little bit shy, you know, trying to talk to you, and you know, trying as much as possible not to make mistakes, you know, while talking and all of that.
Would you say, you know, like where you're from plays a role in the dating scene out here for you?
Well, I wouldn't really say so actually, because for most of the people I've been meeting, you know, right there and then from the very beginning, like I just tell them where I'm from, and the fact that I speak Korean, I think actually covers a lot of negatives for me. So I think irrespective of where you're from, like as long as you speak the language and they find you attractive, yeah, I think that is all that matters.
Are there any stereotypes Korean women have of you as a black man?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are like a bunch of stereotypes. I mean, definitely like sexually, but then also, you know, when they just see me and they're like, oh, black man, oh, strong, you know, that kind of thing. I think that is, you know, pretty much the stereotype.
What are the cultural differences you've experienced while dating as a black man here in Korea?
Oh yeah, the cultural differences. When it comes to like general culture, actually, there's a little bit of similarity between Nigeria and the Korean culture, and I'm talking about like traditional wise. But then when it comes to like the dating culture, like there's a lot of differences, because, for example, like when I first came to Korea and I had like my first relationship ever, I was really surprised at the speed, because I wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, back at home, like you've got to like be friends first, you know, maybe like hang out for like a couple months, and you know, and probably get friend zoned, or you know, maybe like take it to the next level after like 6 months. But then in Korea it was like very quick, because I mean it was pretty much under like a month, like maybe like about 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, I was so shocked. I was like, is this how it runs here? You know, at first I felt like, am I like just lucky, or is it just like that like in general?
That's interesting. It's the second guy to say that, like, over there, like, when you meet someone, it's like speed run. You know, you meet them and then within a couple weeks, you're in some big time relationship. That's interesting.
But then I think like over time I sort of like got to understand, you know, while communicating with other Koreans, that it's pretty much like that way. Like after like 2 or 3 dates,
What's it like, you know, just dating a Korean woman in general?
they're pretty nice and also like very caring, except like maybe the communication part, because my very first relationship, like it was all like, what are you doing, like where Tito Paleandro, so like I'm like, go, like you just texted me about like 10 or 15 minutes ago. Like I mean, I'm also like having a busy life, right?
Leave your comments. Let me know what you think about what you've seen. With that being said, you lot take care of yourselves and make sure you like and hype the videos. Don't ever forget to do that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.